So I'm always curious how parents manage routines, especially hectic morning routines. And since my girls recently started school, we have kind of been tweaking with and playing around with our own morning routine. I feel like we've got it down now that we're a couple months into the school year. So I wanted to share with you, the sequence of events and the type of tasks that we do in the morning. Keep in mind though, of course, every morning is a little bit different, and no morning is completely perfect, but I thought I would just kind of share with you, give you a behind the scenes look of how our mornings typically look and why I order things the way that I do. Now, before I get into the routine, I just want to say a couple things about mornings in general. One of the biggest things I will say, and what I've come to kind of learn over the years, is that the morning routine really starts the evening before. And a lot of the times for us, it also starts the Sunday before, meaning that every Sunday what I do is I plan out the girls' outfits. So that's one less thing that we have to do. I find that, with routines, there's a lot to get done. There's a lot of different things we're balancing. And so if I can take certain things off of my plate, then it just makes everything go smoother. So what I do is I'll lay out, 10 outfits. Now, luckily for us, the girls, they wear the same, size. So I just pick out 10 outfits. And then the night before, I will ask, okay, what do you want to wear? Do you want to wear this or this? And I'll let them kind of choose and pick and choose between the options that I have. And so that just makes the mornings run a little bit smoother. That's one less decision that we have to make. So that is key. The night before we pick out our outfits. Also, of course, the night before we take baths and I will braid their hair, so it just makes doing their hair a little bit easier. And I also think one of the most important parts, and is easy to overlook or get missed, is their bedtime routine and what time they go to bed. So for us, we have found that putting them to bed at 6 o'clock, I know it sounds super early, but it really works for them to go down at 6 o'clock. Of course, they don't fall asleep right at 6 o'clock. It takes them some time to play in their room quietly before they actually fall asleep. But we will put them down at 6 o'clock, and then that gives them a full 12 hours or so, give or take, to sleep. And then they are naturally waking themselves up in the morning. And that's how I know they've gotten a good night's rest. If you have to go in and wake your child up, or even if there's an alarm that's waking them up, that's probably an indication that they're not getting enough rest. And then they're probably going to wake up cranky and groggy and slow. So again, I cannot stress enough, a good morning routine starts the night before and making sure that your child has plenty of rest. I'm happy to talk a little bit more about our current bedtime routine. I did share an ideal bedtime routine in a previous video, so I'll go ahead and link it in the description if you're watching on YouTube. But that is so important, is just making sure they have a good night's rest. So the girls will rise around 6 o'clock and play, or 6:15, and then we actually get them up to start the day around 6:30. Now the girls start school at 8:15. We usually drop them off around 8 or so. So we have to leave the house by 7:40. And so that gives us a good hour window to get everything we need. So at 6:30 they wake up, they brush their teeth, wash their face. And then we head downstairs to have breakfast. Keep in mind, with our morning routine, both me and my husband are involved, so I'm not doing this on my own. So my husband will help with cooking breakfast, and we will all have breakfast together, usually some cereal or oatmeal. Sometimes my husband gets fancy and makes some pancakes, so throw in some sausage, some bacon. They're vegetarian, by the way, so vegetarian bacon, vegetarian sausage. But those are usually our go-tos in terms of breakfast. So we'll sit down and eat breakfast. And then around 7 o'clock is when I try to get them to move out of breakfast and into getting dressed. So after they eat their breakfast, then they get dressed for the day. Mind you, we've already picked out the outfits for that day the night before. So I just bring those down and they get dressed. They also put on their shoes. That has made it so much easier not to try to put on their shoes while we're headed out the door. I have them put on their shoes right when they get dressed, and then they also go to the bathroom. So they'll kind of alternate and take turns in kind of the order in which they do that, but we get all of that done. And then we sit down to do their hair, which is the last big step. And so after we've gotten all that done, they're dressed, they're fed, their shoes are on, they've gone potty, then we sit down to do hair, and I turn on cartoons for them to watch. And so the rule that we have is if you're getting your hair done, you get to pick the cartoon. Usually they'll pick the cartoon and then they'll just keep it on for the rest of the morning, but sometimes they want to change it around. So that's the rule that kind of just helps us keep everything ordered and structured and fair. So they sit down and get their hair done, and we watch some cartoons and laugh and hang out. And then around 7:40 is when we head out the door. So around 7:30, I'll just start to give them a heads up. Hey, it's almost time to head out the door. We're gonna be turning off our cartoons in about 10 minutes. All right, 5 more minutes. Okay, we're turning it off. So I do give them a warning before we transition. We turn off the cartoons and we head out the door. Sometimes I will snap a quick picture just for my own memories or to share with you guys over on Instagram. And we head out the door. And so we usually get to school a little bit early, but I like that. I'd rather get there early than be rushing around. So we'll get there around 7:55 or so and sit in the car and chat and talk about, what we're excited about the day and what we're gonna do after school. And then we walk them in and they start school. So I hope that this quick rundown of our morning routine was helpful for you guys. Let me know down in the comments if there's any other questions that you have related to the morning routine or even just routines in general. Again, no morning is perfect. No morning comes without a little bit of hiccups. The other thing that I will say is because I am currently pregnant right now, I'm in my 3rd trimester, my energy levels are limited, and so I have learned that the morning routine is really my time to connect because it's the time of the day I have the most energy, my body is feeling the best. And so I really changed my mindset around just keeping the mornings sacred and making sure that we stay connected and that we try to have as little as conflict as possible. Of course, it's not perfect. Of course, no morning comes without a little bit of conflict, right? But I just try to manage my anxiety because I do have some anxiety around, getting everything done on time, getting to school on time. And, there's a lot going on in the mornings, but I try to make sure that I am managing my expectations, managing my own feelings, and just keeping as much of in a positive mood, because I know that helps my daughters in terms of just helping them start the day and helping everything move along. That if I can kind of set the tone and set the energy, it's more likely to go smoother. So I'm kind of working with that. I'm not perfect, of course. None of us are perfect at this, but that is one of the things that I am working on, because again, by the time 3-4 o'clock rolls around, I am so tired. By the time they're off school, it's really rest time, wind down time, and then they're to bed by 6. So the mornings are sacred for us, and so I try to add in lots of kisses and snuggles and singing and connecting and just all of that so they can feel good right before they go to school and before I go to work. So I hope that this video was helpful, gave you kind of some ideas or just a back end look at what our mornings look like. And again, if you have any questions about morning routines or routines in general, leave them down in the comment section. I would love to know what's on your guys' mind. And I think that's it. Don't forget to check out my free workshop, How to Get Your Child to Listen to You Without Yelling, which is a step-by-step guide on getting better cooperation, more connection with your little one in general. Again, it's completely free, and you can go to themomspsychologist.com workshop to watch it for free. All right, that is it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.